across central Illinois and really across the state, there are battles going right now between auditors and county boards. And joining me right now to talk a little bit about this are two auditors from our area, Jessica Thomas from Peoria County, and then also Shelly Harenka from Tazewell County. Situations that are happening right now. Shelly, we'll start with you. I know that right now there's a legal battle between you and within the county in taking away, you say, duties and the ability for you to fully do your work. But I want to talk about a proposal that was actually recently pushed to state lawmakers that would impact both of you. And this is a conversation of shall versus may, of counties of a certain size that have auditors that also do their own accounting work and accounting work for the auditor's office. There's a question that would make it to where they wouldn't have to have those duties applied to the auditor's office. Well, there's fears that that would actually impact what you do on your job. Can you kind of talk about this bill from your understanding of what it would be?
Well, the bill actually states that part of our state statutes, it states that we shall be the accountant for the county, and the bill wants to change that word shall, which means mandatory, to may, which means permissive. That would then give the opportunity for the county board or the county board chairman the authority to take that those accounting duties away from the auditor's office. We audit all the other departments. We're supposed to be able to audit all the other departments. That would be the treasurer's office, the clerk's office, the sheriff's department. By taking that away, we also have an external auditor that comes in and audits the county to verify the numbers that are being sent. But they also will come in and check my office. Should check my office. They don't come and check my office to based on make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. Now, I don't handle any money. I don't print any checks. I don't receive anything. I don't deposit anything. So to me, this has been the law since 1985.
1985.
And it has not been an issue until recently, where it seems that there are several counties that really want that power of the checkbook. I am there to say no, you can't do that, or I'm supposed to be there to monitor the budget if you're going over or under, and by being the accountant for the county and seeing those expenditures, I'm able to see what they're spending. I'm not able to see it if those accounting duties are in the finance department and they're not sharing the information, or in the treasurer's office and they're not sharing the information, which they don't. They say you can see it in our accounting system, but that's not. When you go to do an audit, you really need to see the original information that's put into the system, and then that information, I need to compare that, and I can't even audit that at this point.
And it's a little different in Peoria County. So in Peoria County, this bill that will change shall to may, currently right now, the county board is illegally taking the accounting duties from the auditor. So currently the accounting duties are under finance, which is under county administration, which has the oversight of the board. So currently right now, the board sets the budget and they can account for it. So that shouldn't be. And the reason for this for counties under 275,000 people, because smaller counties under 275,000 people, according to the law, probably wouldn't have enough money to finance both the accounting office and accounting office under finance. So in Peoria County, the finance office is budgeted over $400,000. So it's like $455,000. We're a smaller county. We shouldn't have that funds allocated to the finance department for just the accounting portion of my duties. So it's like a misappropriation, misuse of taxpayers' dollars. And the reason why the accounting duties are under the finance department in Peoria County was created in 2008. So it was created to try to dismantle the auditor's office, because those duties are supposed to happen in the auditor's office to be a service to the taxpayer, so we wouldn't have to fund another department.
Now, both counties have had referendums on recent ballots asking whether or not to either rid of the auditor position or to give the counties the ability to appoint. That has failed in both Peoria and Tazewell County. I want to read the wording from this House Bill 3680, which right now isn't, from what I'm understanding, getting anywhere at the moment. But it says that it would provide the following duties are permissive rather than mandatory, being the general accountant of the county and keep its general accounts, and devising and installing a system of financial records in the offices and divisions of the county, and that will be effective immediately if and when it were to go into place. 9 counties are included within this. Those that support: Peoria, LaSalle, McLean, and Tazewell within our area. Now, there's concern. They're saying that this would get in the way of federal grants. That's one of the things that they're saying here with federal work. But when you ask, I've talked to a county chairman who will actually be here on Monday. They said there's no way that this would lead to getting rid of the position. You two think that that creates a slippery slope to where they could. You think it could go around the referendum?
And let's be clear, a lot of people don't know the difference between internal auditing and external auditing. So we do the internal auditing, and we work with the external auditors, which then audit all the financial statements that our accounting department, if under us, which by law should be under us, produces. So it's not auditing our own work. We have an external firm that audits the accounting work from the internal audit department. So the whole language in that was intended to be confusing and misleading. So currently in Peoria County, the external auditors audits the financial statements every year on an annual basis. We use Sickage. And then the departments that get a lot of federal funding, they do a deeper dive into those departments. So most of those departments are like the WIC program and the Peoria County Health Department. So those get a deeper dive from the external auditor because they are allowed more federal funds than other departments.
And those federal funds have to be allocated to individual things. So, you know, our health department gets many grants. And when you get those grants, they have to make sure that they are allocated to those things that are specified in those grants. So it has nothing to do with the grants. That was slid in there, and that's just not true. Not true at all. If anything, you need us because we need to be able to have control of the accounting so we can make sure that we're following those grants.
But getting into that, I mean, you asked them, they said that this would not eliminate the auditor's office, right? That's what they're saying, and changing the auditing powers. But you two disagree and think that it could create something more?
It's not that it's eliminating the auditor's office. First of all, doing that will be a disadvantage to the taxpayers because currently in Peoria County, we're not abiding by the Illinois state statute. We're not following the law. The law is being broken and allowed to be broken by the state's attorney because right now the accounting duties are in the finance department. That's not where they should be.
Correct.
That finance department is being a burden to the taxpayers at the tune of $455,000 a year. So that is not a service to the taxpayers. And when they say that we can't audit our own accounting work, our accounting administrator went on the news and said they audit themselves. So technically in Peoria County, he's saying they're auditing themselves, and we're still getting federal funds, and nothing is being red flagged in Peoria County. So this is just a scare tactic to try to scare people with that does not have financial experience or knowledge or information into voting for this or passing this because it sounds good, but in all actuality is false. We have our external audit firm that audits the internal operations of the county and the financial statements on an annual basis. So there's the checks and balance right there, and there's the segregation of powers and duties.
Right.
Now I wanted to say real quick is if they change this to shall to may, that's part of the lawsuit that I have going on right now in Tazewell
That was going to
County.
be my next question.
Is that they illegally took the accounting duties from the office without authority. And so that's the biggest part of the lawsuit, is that these accounting duties have been taken away that are statutorily my responsibility when I walked in the office, and have given them not only to the finance department but also into the treasurer's office. Now if they get this passed, then my lawsuit could be thrown out the door, because now it gave him the permission, it gave Dave Zimmerman and the county board the permission to do what they did. So this is another workaround. Now they've gone to the referendum. I worked very, very hard in Tazewell County, and the people of Tazewell County wanted an internal auditor. They are under the impression that I have the duties in my office, and I have the staff, and I have the budget, but I don't. My budget, I have $15,000 for a part-time person, and about $3,000 for some education and some internal operations in my office. But that's all I have. It's very difficult for me to be able to do everything I need to do. Plus, on the same note, is that I shall have all the information that I need to be able to do these internal audits through the sheriff's office or through the treasurer's office, and that means they must give me the information I need, like bank statements is a typical example. I've asked for the bank statements from the treasurer. I have authority. I can come up and view them, is what she says, but I can't take any copies or anything out of the office that I can take down to my office, which is the auditor's office, which is completely secure, and do my own bank reconciliation or analyze those even more for any type of transfers that are being made. That to me makes me feel that I'm not able to do my job to the best of my ability, and the people are not aware of this. So that's another part of my lawsuit too, is that I need the information. I need my state's attorney to step up and force these offices to give me the information that I need to be able to do my job.
And then Jessica, you as well. I mean, just last night, we're at County Board making your plea for why your office should be funded more, and that's been something that's been reported on recently, that you believe that your office has been underfunded lower than it has been in years.
Yeah, it's a historic low. Compared to the other offices in Peoria County, like my office is a pittance. Like I get 100. Well, now they increased my operational budget to $2,500 for 12 months.
As of last night.
As of last night, but that still is a very low funding compared to the treasurer's office, which gets $51,000, and other departments that get way more allowance for education, mileage reimbursement, and things of that nature. The office of the county auditor, we have 29 departments within Peoria County. So our job is to go into those departments to make sure that the internal controls are in place and policies and procedures are being adhered to. That's a lot of resources that's going to take. And currently in Peoria County, we're not properly tracking fixed assets, property, or anything of that nature. So we're doing ourselves a disservice if you don't put proper funding into the auditor's office to create those controls and create a system where we're doing the due diligence for the taxpayers.
And what would either one of you, what would you say to people who say, well, predecessors have either worked with low budgets, and those who say
they didn't.
And I do recall two prior to you, because we just in Peoria County in particular, there was an interim because the person before that actually stepped down for that. But also, what would you say for people who say, well, all counties are under a budget, and so this is a place in which they've looked at to try to cut? What's your response to that?
Well, and I completely understand that, and being budget conscious, this is why I'm saying that by Peoria County evading the law or illegally taking away the accounting duties and creating the finance department, that $455,000 doesn't have to exist. That's a savings right there, because if those duties came back to my office, that could save the taxpayers over $200,000. So it's not the fact that we don't have the resources, it's the fact that we're misappropriating the resources into different departments, which by state law currently right now is against the law. And I want to say one thing too. When people don't want to obey the law and they have power and unlimited resources, they then go try to change the law.
Right.
Currently right now we're not abiding by the Illinois state law. So that's why it's so much effort statewide to change the law. And as she said, shall is mandatory. May is permissive. Right now it's shall, and we're still not following the law.
Well, and my predecessor, she had two people working underneath her. She had all the accounting duties in her office. As soon as I won the primary, and most people in Tazewell County know that Tazewell County is a strong Republican county, they knew that a Republican would win, and that's the sad thing. Is I'm fighting my own party, but I'm trying to do what's right for the people of Tazewell County, and they literally just came in and just cut everything. This is not the place you cut when things are tight. When things are tight, you put more money in your auditing department to make sure that they're auditing, and we're making sure there's no fraud, or there's other places where there might be waste that we can check into and follow up on. That's when you need an auditor. You got to find the waste, and that's what we're here for, is to find the waste and fraud.
And my last question to you regarding waste, last question here. You are again in this lawsuit,
yes,
and you say that the money that's being paid for that could have gone to your original request that you were asking for.
Yeah, I just audited those bills. They have not been paid yet, but we are now up to $107,000 in attorney's fees for both sides. That's a combination for both sides, which it would have been simple if I could have just had I asked for a $65,000 employee, a chief deputy auditor, and one more part-time person to be able to do the job. This would never have happened, and this is such a waste because my county board chairman is still fighting me all the way on this by going to a new association up in Chicago, trying to get the Auditors Association to work together to try and, like I said, make this permissible to take these duties away when they've already been done. So we're fighting the law, and it's just not our county. It's not my county. It's not Jessica's county. You know, we've got 5 counties that are under attack right now with county board chairmen that just do not want to follow the law, and it's because we've got some new people in there, and it's sad. I just don't understand why we can't work together. I've gone and I've asked the county board chairman, and I've asked the state's attorney twice if they're we can mediate this and not pay all this, but they both have. It's gone on deaf ears, and this was back in October and November of last year, and so we wouldn't get to this point, and it has, and I just don't know how much longer this is going to go, because Dave now is working with the Auditors Association, trying to get us to come together to work on that may shall, and that could take months and months while this lawsuit is going on, and really this doesn't have to happen.
All right. Well, I think that's it for our time here. Thank you both, Shelley Horenka, Tazewell County Auditor, Jessica Thomas, Peoria County Auditor. As always, it's a pleasure to have you both.
Thank you, Eugene.
Thank you.